Hello, bookish internet. Today I am very excited to bring a booktube darling video, which is the newbie tag. This is something that a lot of content creators do as their first video in their channels. I actually wanted to do this uh, for quite a while now, but I just kept putting it off. I don't know why I did not start my channel with this because I think it's a very fun tag. Even though I'm not brand new, I've been doing booktube now. This is crazy, but for like a couple months. But I put out videos every like 2 weeks more or less. That's kind of the cadence that I'm aiming for. And so even though it's been a couple months already, I haven't done that many videos. So I still feel pretty new to this whole booktube thing. It's honestly kind of weird still. But anyways, let's just jump straight into it. I think this is gonna be fun. So let's look at my notes. So the first question is, why did I start a booktube channel? And I think this is a very common response that you see in this type of videos. And it's honestly just that we love talking about books, right? Who doesn't love japping about the favorite thing they're reading? And so I think for me in particular, while I have some really close friends that do love sci-fi fantasy as much as I don't know. I think it's still really fun to just like discuss books, and everyone likes different things. So I think it's just fun to use a channel to try to find other people that are like kind of in the same niches as you. The second question is, what is something fun or unique that you're bringing to BookTube? And I think it's a bit strange trying to come up with like, oh, what makes me special or unique? I don't know, but I think something that I think is kind of fun with this channel is that there are not so many queer Latine creators. I think in booktube, especially in this fantasy sci-fi corner of YouTube. I don't know if that's true or not. Obviously, YouTube makes these kind of echo chambers, and it sometimes feels like you've seen everything, but these are all like pocket communities that are kind of spread out. So I actually have no clue, but at least I have a hard time finding Latine content creators in this space, and so I think I can be somewhat of a unique voice in comparison to the more, let's just say, standard kind of content creator that BookTube or the algorithm pushes forward. So I think that's gonna be fun. I think I can bring that perspective or that kind of unique background, so to say. Uh, and yeah, I think the other thing that I think can be very fun with my channel is that I am doing this purely out of fun. I just want to have fun with this channel. I don't want this to be my work. I don't depend like economically on this. So that means that I'm going to be very true to myself. I'm gonna do things that I think are fun. Obviously, some of the kind of things that the booktube community does are very cool, and I want to be kind of part of that. But there are other things that I think are not done because they don't perform as well, and I understand that for some people this is their job, and it's perfectly fine to just kind of follow trends sometimes and do whatever the algorithm needs for you to have your livelihood secured. So if that's your job or like that's what you want to do, that's obviously fine. I think I don't have the pressure of following trends or like seeking views because I'm just doing this for fun. So I think I will, or I hope I can bring that kind of uniqueness or originality because yeah, I just want to do things that are fun. I especially want to focus in more project based videos. So instead of doing kind of the very standard book hauls and TBRs and the wrap ups, which I think are fun, I want to bring my own kind of videos to this sphere and maybe focus more in these kind of project ideas. Yeah, I don't know if that kind of makes sense, but we're going with that. Yeah, number three is a book or series that got you into reading, and I think I have a bunch of books that I need to thank for in terms of putting me into this hobby and loving books as much as I do today. I started reading at a very young age, and so I think there are multiple books that I could mention, but I think the book slash series that really got me, or that really made me fall in love with reading in general, and especially the fantasy genre, are the Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel by Michael Scott. This is a series that I have briefly talked about in a recent video because I reread the first book as an audiobook during the new year, which was really fun. But I think this is the book to me that was just like some people had Harry Potter or Percy Jackson as their introduction to fantasy. Just as some people had those series, that to me was these Secrets of the Immortal Nicholas Flamel. I remember I was in this school book fair that my school organized every year, and I was just going through the aisles. I was already interested in reading. I had already read some things, but I just saw this beautiful cover, and I think I was maybe around 9 or 10 years old, and I just saw it. I loved it. I was like, "Ooh, this looks so like intriguing and magical," and it had all these like alchemical symbols on the cover, and it was called The Magician, and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds like fun." And I asked the person in the in the stand, and the point is I bought the book, and I think it's a funny story because I started reading the book and I was like, what the heck is going on? Don't understand anything. And it turned out that this was the second book in the series actually. So obviously there were a lot of characters that had been introduced in the first book that I had no knowledge about, and I was like, what's going on? Did I miss something? Am I like, don't I know how to read? And so if this person ever finds this video, you might not remember me from like 10, 15 years ago, but you sold me the second book of a series. Let's see. The next one is, what genres do I read now? So I think this will be a short one. As I said, I mostly read sci-fi and fantasy. I think a bit more of fantasy than sci-fi, but I'm trying to balance that a bit more. And so that has been kind of mentioned already. But what else? I do like reading a lot of queer fiction. And as I said in also another video, queer fiction is not necessarily a genre. Like you can have queer stories in the fantasy genre, in horror or whatever. But I just in general like reading stories that deal with the queer experience. This is very important to me, and I actually like everything from like contemporary to literary, horror, fantasy, even some sci-fi. So I would say in general, I try to read queer fiction from a variety of genres. I come from Mexico, so I also really like reading books from Mexican authors or in general Latin American authors. So I'm trying to focus more and more on that in the recent years. Yeah, the next question is, what are you most excited about? And I've been doing this for a couple of months now, so I can say that I'm still excited for doing these kind of projects and coming up with new ideas. And sometimes I just stay up at night thinking about like, ooh, what can I do? What video can I do that feels like unique or interesting? And sometimes I get ideas and I just keep thinking about them. And so I think this kind of freshness of booktube is still a big part of my headspace. I am very excited to build this channel and kind of find a bit the yeah, I think my own voice here, finding these channel staples that I really want to find kind of a series of videos that feel mine. I think every content, well, not everyone, but a lot of content creators have come up with their own kind of unique original ideas that they turn into a video series. So I'm gonna be testing a lot of different things. The next question is, what are some challenges that you foresee? And I mean, I've already I am already struggling a bit with finding enough time to record and edit and also try to read, because you want to I mean the most important thing for me is just reading. This kind of the cherry on the top, getting to talk about the books that I'm reading. I think now that I am studying a master's degree, it's becoming a bit hard to find that like time, especially in a way that I can be putting out videos consistently. You probably have seen that sometimes like there's 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 1 week in between videos. So I think finding consistency is already a challenge. It will probably continue to be, at least while I'm studying. Maybe once I start working again, I will have more of a fixed routine, but at least for now, that is, I think, the biggest challenge. That basically concludes this newbie tag. Let me know if you have any questions, if there is anything you would like to see in this channel. I would love to hear it. And yeah, I'm happy that you're here. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.